So am I the only one that actually liked the movie Joker 2? Mind you, my mother did like it as well. My father said he didn't like it, but he was talking about the story either way once we finished watching the movie. And this was the second time I watched it because the first time I watched it, the light went out in the movie theater. I live in Puerto Rico, and literally the light went out. Bad luck right there. So that was ironic. I had to come again and watch it. We actually get the movies over here one day before the actual release, which is always good. But I had to come again to finish the whole movie. So I watched the movie right from where I actually ended off from the beginning and from where I ended off again, and then watched the whole thing again. So I actually liked the movie. I didn't think there was an issue with the musical aspect of it. I actually like Lady Gaga here. I thought it was gonna be something else. I wasn't expecting a hopeless romantic story. This was a hopeless romantic story, in my opinion. Not even my opinion, it's a fact. I mean, the whole movie is a hopeless romantic story of Joker being Arthur Fleck in reality, and he's trying to be Joker to feel good about himself and have this opportunity at love once again from somebody who he thinks is being genuine with him, but then he figures out she's lying. She's not from the same neighborhood he is from, which is what she told him when she was inside there, the place where Arthur is. She's not poor. She's actually rich. Arthur's lawyer, who's trying to actually get him out, tells him, "You're going to lose this case and she's going to ruin it for you," because he's fallen in love hopeless romantically. He really thinks she's actually going to be there for him and build that mountain they were talking about. We're going to build a mountain when you get out. I want to see the real you. She actually brings makeup to the jail cell, puts it on him, and they start kissing and making out and having intimacy. But in reality, she's in love with the fiction of him, the story, Joker, not actually Arthur Fleck. That's why she wants him to put the makeup, and that's when she really sees him for the first time. She says, "Is it really you?" She's talking about Joker, not Arthur Fleck. But Arthur really just wants to be Arthur and get this over with. And in the reality, I think a lot of people were expecting this to be, okay, since Arthur finally turns into the Joker in the first movie, the city's actually backing him up. They're painting their faces too with the makeup of the Joker. So we're gonna see in the second movie how he's actually doing organized crime and actually going against the whole city and dominating and being this maniacal but planned, the Joker from the comics that is psychopath basically, but organized crime. He knows what he's doing. Well, this isn't really Arthur. Arthur's somebody who was abused from a young age. His mother would call him happy, but it was an ironic way to say he was never a good comedian. His jokes were never funny. So this is in relation to the failed comedian story too, where Joker, one of the stories is he doesn't have the comedy he does as a comedian, as a failed comedian. He then falls into the chemicals. We even see an aspect of that in The Killing Joke. If you haven't seen The Killing Joke, watch it. A lot of people didn't like the animation, the animated movie. I liked it, but the comics are even better for sure. So watch the comics. But I like this. Do I like it more than the first Joker movie? I don't think so, because that first Joker movie, I think, was better. I think it had more intensity in certain points, even though this one has some pretty intense scenes, like when he just grabs the hammer and starts hitting the judge on his mind, and then you see all these moments where he's dreaming or imagining things, if you want to say imagining. I think those were the best parts. I love that first part where they're actually doing like the musical aspect, where she's Lady Gaga's like Harley Quinn, of course, Lee, as Arthur calls her here. She starts to like do this silhouette, and they're like over there, and then Arkham Hotel at the top of the building dancing, and the music that they picked for that moment, I thought that was actually really good. And I think it had an element of like morbid fun. How do you say morbid? Funny moments, but like at the same time, it fits for the Joker when you're trying to do this type of Joker. You get so many different ways to do it. We've seen in the previous points where it's a much more funnier Joker. We've seen the Jack Nicholson Joker where he's evil but funny at the same time. Then we've seen the much more evil Ledger Joker, excuse me. I don't even gotta talk about Jared Leto. Jared Leto's a great person, great actor, but I didn't like that Joker. Sorry. But this one, I did like this movie, not as much as the first one. I think that Murray scene where he just blows him off and he's having that dialogue, I think that was top notch acting right there on the first one. Now that I watched this one, I even put that one in higher regard. That scene and everything that happened when he's at the Murray show. But I don't think this is as bad as people are trying to make it out to be. I think people just really expected a different movie, like I said, organized crime, and he's going to terrorize the city. And this turned into a trial movie because he's in trial the whole time. Shout out to the guy that does Harvey Dent. He's the guy that does Robert in Industry. I just did reviews of Industry. And somebody commented on my video, so thanks. So, yeah. I like that they did pick the guy from Industry, Eric, as well. The Asian doctor on this movie. Great movie. I like the scene where at the end it blows up. And Joker has a lot of these imagining scenes, but this one wasn't an imagining thing. It literally blows up the building from the trial. They don't even say if it's Harley or not. And he's unconscious. He wakes up and he goes outside of it. So now he's finally in the world. He's free, right? Like he said he was. By the way, that scene where he brings Puddles in for the testimony and he doesn't even give a defense afterwards, that was insane. But that was like the joke of it all. So I like how he's joking with the guards here. The guards are evil. Fuck the guards for killing the guy that would sing with him. And at the end, the guy that turns into Joker and cuts his mouth, that was crazy, and kills Arthur. And you basically realize Arthur, this whole time he was Arthur. He wasn't Joker. But when he actually gets out from the building and these guys, somebody that's fully dressed as Joker with the makeup and everything, you think it's Arthur himself, brings him with a car, and this other guy basically looks like the guy from the Dark Knight movie, looked like a reference, and they're like trying to save him and trying to make him escape. You finally did it. You escaped. Arthur is so scared while they're trying to drive the car and pass the lights that he opens the car and he just starts running. That's where he sees Harley Quinn in the stairs, like in the first movie where he was in the stairs from New York, and he says, I finally escaped. We could go together and escape. You still love me. I'm still the same guy who killed Murray. But she's like, nah, you said you weren't the Joker when you were giving your closing statements. The persona has ended. And then she starts singing again, and he's like, stop singing, please. I just want to talk. But she just keeps singing. Crazy, crazy ending. And she leaves and she says goodbye, Arthur, not Joker. Great movie, I think, but I like the first one more. Let me know your thoughts. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think maybe after some years, people are going to look back and see, oh, I know where they were going with this now. I do like the angle. I think that might be the case. I think people had different expectations for it. Let me know what you think. It's going to be it. There was a lot of parts. I like the part where they're shaving him and they cut him and he's like smiling at the jokes that the guards do. I really didn't mind the singing, but that's going to be it.